So as far as the Patriot movement, and that's what LWN is, we are part of many patriots out there searching for the truth and delivering the news like it should be delivered. All right, LWN. LW is now a licensed broker for Miles Franklin. So if you need any help purchasing precious metals, if you need help maybe flipping your 401k over into a self-directed IRA, your pension funds, your retirement, any need, any question that you have, you can reach out to me at lwnreloaded@gmail.com. Would love an opportunity to earn your business and to answer your questions. And hold on, folks. This week's specials, beautiful, beautiful. The silver Buffalo Bull Mint rounds, while supplies last, only $2.85 over spot. On one side of the coin, you have two buffaloes, two bulls going head-to-head. You got a Native American chief on the other side of that coin. Absolutely gorgeous coin for only $2.85 over spot while supplies last. We also have assorted Buffalo silver rounds while supplies last, only $2.65 over spot. Some of the cheapest prices I've seen so far since I've been a broker for Miles Franklin. I have some of these beautiful coins myself. They look just like a Buffalo nickel, where they have a buffalo on one side. They have the Native American on the other side. Just a beautiful, gorgeous coin, only $2.65 over spot. Again, if you're thinking about the things that are going on in the United States of America, in our economy, the things that the Fed has just put out this week, and you're concerned about your 401k, is it going to last? Is the market going to crash? And what does that mean for you? I would be glad to answer those questions for you, for your 401k, for your pension funds, for your retirement. If you have just some cash laying around and you want to know how to invest it, hey, reach out to us right here at Miles Franklin, and we will be glad to answer those questions and help you through it. You can reach me at lwnreloaded@gmail.com. All right, LWN, if you want to know how to get in on the monthly coin giveaway, it's pretty simple. Simple donation will get your name put in the drawing each and every month that we do the coin giveaway. First way to do it is to buy me a coffee. The links are always dropped in chat. So all you have to do is buy me a coffee just once a month, and your name will be put in the drawing for that beautiful coin. And if you are watching us on Facebook, I've had a lot of people reach out to me and ask, what are stars? How do I donate? How do I get my name put in the drawing? Well, you can purchase Facebook stars, and then it's just like Super Chat or anything else. You can drop a comment in there with the stars. I got away from Super Chat because YouTube was taking over 30% of everything that you guys donated to us here at LWN. So you can buy a star. The stars support the creators, and that is an easy way for you to get your name put in the drawing. Here's some information for you here. Some cost for the stars. You can get 45 stars for 99 cents. You can get 145 stars for $2.99. I think basically each star is like 1 penny. So if you drop 100 stars, that's like $1. So euros, of course, you can buy them anywhere. Put them anywhere you want there in the chat, and that will definitely get your name put in the drawing each and every month for these beautiful coins that we are giving away here at LWN. All right, welcome back, America. Welcome back to LWN. We have Brock Maddox for his second appearance here on LWN, and I tell you what, we were just talking off air. He's fired up. He's absolutely fired up. There's a lot going on, a lot to talk about. So at this time, I go ahead and invite Brock to join me here on stage with his camera, and we'll give him another warm LWN welcome. How are you this afternoon, Brock? How's it going?
Hey, thanks for that warm welcome there, LW. It's great to be back on the show today. Things are going great here in the state of Wisconsin. Lovely day out here. A lot of things going on behind the scenes. I'm excited, man. So let's get into it, man.
Let's get into it.
Yeah.
So again, the mission statement at LWN is unite, educate, motivate. And I have people like you on constantly educating our audience, and then we just want to unite everybody. We want to get everybody plugged back into life, because a lot of us is checked out with our digital devices that we all have, our social platforms that we all love, like Facebook. And have you ever got like an insight from Facebook or from your iPhone? Like iPhone, if you really wanted to know how much time you spend on your phone, there's a little menu at the front of the phone that you can click on, and it'll tell you how many minutes you've spent texting and how many minutes you've spent on the phone calls. But what's awful is how many hours you have spent on Facebook. And I can tell you without a doubt, I would venture to say a lot of people out there probably spend on average at least 2 hours a day on social platforms out there, watching videos or being on YouTube or whatever. That's a lot of time spent unplugged in life. And I'm not telling you guys to quit watching your favorite influencers out there like LWN. I'm just saying we have been indoctrinated. We have been taken advantage of. They have put these things in front of us for multiple reasons. And one is to cause division, because now instead of people going out and having barbecues and playing softball in the summertime and doing things, everybody's on their phone. So they've found a way to divide us. They've also found a way to distract us, and they found a way to indoctrinate us and cause this division. And so, unity, coming together, getting people plugged back into life, paying attention to what's going on in their own backyards and their own communities, educating them and helping them navigate through all this stuff with politics and with the school boards and with the stuff that you're working on. And then the last part of that is you and I and people like us out there motivating these people. We brought them together and we've educated them. Now you need to get plugged back into life. You need to go out there and make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I want to start, to kind of correspond with your mission statement. One of our mission statements were, with God leading the way and we the people by our side, and the Constitution, the Declaration, and the Bill of Rights in our hands, the freedom fighters of Central Wisconsin is going to bring back the American values, the American spirit, and the American way of life for future generations. So that plays right into your unity message and mission statement. And I thank you for your mission statement. To go even further into, I have checked my my notification on how long I'm on my phone, but I unplugged my TV well over a year ago. So all the work I've been able to do is right off my phone here. So I look down, it's 10, 12 hours a day. And when I say I put in over 6,500 hours in 2.5 years, it, no doubt. I mean, it's either boots on the ground events, protests, rallies, or I am working on my phone, connecting with people all over the United States. Yep. Constantly, and, till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, relentlessly. I get no rest right now until we win this war. But I just encourage everybody, if you are going to be on your phone, just focus your energy into content that is going to make a difference. Where you can learn truth, facts, and knowledge, and the individuals like LWN or the freedom fighters that are actually really making a difference in the genuine efforts, instead of content that's just out there to keep you busy, corrupting your minds.
Well,
So
there's a lot of good content out there, and a lot of good creators out there and influencers who bring a lot of information to people. And then there's places out there where you just show up and you talk, um and that's okay too. I guess if that's what you're looking for. But I'm looking for education. I'm looking to learn each and every day. And I just did a couple of interviews yesterday and learned I learned so much in those two interviews. It was mind blowing. And but we got to have actions behind our words, I guess, is my point. We can talk all night long on all these different channels about what we want done and the things that we don't like, but until guys like you and I and our audience actually engages and put action behind their words, actually goes to protest and actually goes to rally and actually goes along their political, I don't know what you would call it, electoral map of their county and knock door to door and start talking to people about the policies that they want to see brought to their local areas and their state and their federal levels. Until we actually start doing that, talk is cheap. And I've been a guy of action. I've been out there. I've traveled to California a couple of times. I've been to South Dakota, and I've traveled south here in Idaho to a couple of different functions here. So not as much as I would like to. I've been to Missouri. I've been to Texas. I've been to North Idaho for some of these events and networked and did a lot of shows. So boots on the ground is very important. To get engaged is something that is really hard to convince people that getting out from behind the TV screen or your phone screen and actually get out there and start helping in this fight is something that is a challenge for us.
yeah, well, it is a challenge. I mean, because they're using fear tactics, and I mean they've played their hand, their ultimate hand. They're playing for keeps. They showed us what they're willing to do. I mean, these people are willing to kill us, take our jobs, take our financial, rip our families apart. They've played their full deck of cards here, and they're playing for keeps. But I I 2.5 years ago got off the couch. I was asleep just like everybody else. Okay.
Me
And
too.
I can tell you the best way to learn and educate yourself is to get off the couch and get busy in your local area. See where these problems are coming from. When we started attending the local county or city meetings, or health department meetings, or your local Republican Party or your Democrat Party, whatever, you will begin to see very quickly where these problems are coming from, and then you need to come up with the solutions to do more to fix it
But
together.
let me jump in here real quick, Brock, because you said something very important, and you're not the only person that is saying this. So what Brock is saying is, once he started going out and getting involved at his local level, he started seeing a lot of the corruption. He started seeing a lot of the problems. And we've had other guests here at LWN that have said the exact same thing. I didn't realize how some of this stuff worked until I actually got out there. I have a new guest coming on here real soon. The show is the Amber May Show, and she is now part of her electoral process there in Maricopa County, Arizona. And she said the same thing. She said, until you actually get off the couch and get out there and start donating some of your time to go to some of these meetings and start seeing the problems firsthand, and like Brock said, then you form a plan and find a solution to fix those problems. Until you do that, you have no clue. You're just hearing me talk, you're hearing Brock talk, you're hearing other people talk about the problems, but you're still not engaged. So, unity, education, motivation.
Yeah, amen. And everybody wants to complain, and kind of point fingers at why it's this way in our country. Well, we need to start pointing fingers at ourselves, because we haven't been getting off the couch. We haven't cared enough about our country. We haven't cared enough about each other. So if you want change to happen, you got to be that change, live that change, lead that change. And that starts with getting off. The easiest ways is get off the couch, go donate an hour out of your time if you can. You know what I mean? And go see it firsthand in your local community, and then go from there. Because and then you can tell your personal firsthand account story to the next person. Like, hey, we got some issues in our county
Yeah.
here. I'd like you to help me. Let's go
Well,
figure this out.
we've even seen it on YouTube where people have filmed city council meetings, and people get up there and start talking. City council people are half asleep, or they're on their cell phone, not paying attention to what the issue is that's being brought to the table. And then they quickly want to mute the mic when their 2 minutes are up, or when their 3 minutes are up. Just watching city council meetings alone, you see a lot of the corruption. You see a lot of the problems. You see that people don't care. They're there for a paycheck. You see that they don't want to get involved and make any change. So you're seeing this unfold. Let's talk about the things that you're working on there with the Wisconsin Freedom Fighters, and the stuff that you've been involved in, just say in the last week since we had you on the last time. What's some of the updates that you can give the audience?
No, yeah, thanks for that question. A lot of stuff's going on, because of the work that we've done over the past, 2.5, 3 years here. Everybody's coming to me, wanting me to come speak at their events or take part in helping their local community get some plans and agendas together on how they're going to fight this new local election, which I'm more than willing. I got people all over the state, 2 calls today for another 2 meetings. And, I know on Thursday we're going to a human trafficking event in Green Bay, which when we put that out there, I got 2 more people from Portage County that want to go over there and just learn the basics on how to identify it and how to combat it. Right. So along the lines of that, I got people within the party all over the state that want me to help, coordinate efforts in their local areas, because that's why I'm so excited. People are here in the state of Wisconsin. When we launched them, 300 and something Patriot groups, it did something here. It got people off the couch. Okay. Then there was a movement to kind of break us apart. Well, we've identified these people that were helping break us apart, and people are now coming back together again and weathered the storm. And so it's very exciting and encouraging, because for a while there was a period of time where people didn't have much hope. They seen all this, grifters and everything breaking apart the movement. But the encouraging thing is to see people coming back together, weathered that storm, and we're coming back and regrouping, uniting. And at this point, they cannot stop what is coming. There's no stopping this. So yeah, I'm excited, man. And I'm gonna help everybody that I can. I don't know if I've said no to one person in 2.5, 3 years. Even if I don't know how to do it, I figure out how to make it happen for these people, because it's that important. We are Americans. I encourage everybody to get rid of the word can't. It it does no good. So along the lines with that, we have a lot of shows set up. We're working behind the scenes with you, LW, and spreading trying to build this podcasting base as far as we can across the United States, because we need to break through the media barrier. And we realized that early on, that the media ain't gonna, cover our stories. And these podcasters and live streamers and boots on the ground individuals, we are the new media, and we the people are how we're going to spread this word together collectively in standing united. So there's so many efforts going on right now. But another big thing that we did was one of the individuals that I'm working with on the human trafficking aspect of this here in Portage County, Wisconsin. We'll talk about the tunnels a little bit. I found a whole underground city under Stevens Point, Wisconsin, 10 years ago when I was working on a building. And it's not just tunnels; it is rooms and hallways, a whole underground city. I'm talking several dozen rooms down there, and it's not listed anywhere in our historical society or anywhere. And so she came to me, and she found a way she figured out how to locate these tunnels, and that was through Instagram. You can type in your county, and it tells you right where all these tunnels are. And so now we have a huge effort in the state of Wisconsin just to bring awareness to it and start asking questions. Why are they there? When were they built? What are they being used for? Are they being used for? Are you even aware that there's tunnels under your building? Just start asking the questions, because the biggest pandemic really on this planet is the human trafficking. And it needs to stop, man, because the stories that I get told are so genuine. that, I mean, it brings me to tears at night before I go to bed. How can I stop or go on vacation when I know this stuff is happening? And you know, all I can say is people are starting to talk. People are starting to get together and be bold. And also, we're standing with these courageous individuals, and to let them talk and support them, because this is how we're going to end human trafficking: is standing united together, loving thy neighbor. So, I mean,
Being part of OUR and having them on a couple of times now here at LWN, which they're scheduled to come back on here real soon. But they've said it many a times, for those of us watching and thinking that our government is going to do anything to stop human trafficking, we're fooling ourselves. Look at the southern border. It's wide open. There are human traffickers coming across our border every stinking day. So how are we going to stop human trafficking? It's by the average, everyday, ordinary citizen who gets involved, whether it's monetarily, whether it's donating time to some of these organizations to help in getting the message out. We have people that have been in the trafficking. Unfortunately, they've been trafficked, and so now they're going in and they're spending their time trying to help these children recover. And the aftercare of this stuff is a huge undertaking, and I don't think people really realize that. Yes, we can go in and yes, we can extract these children from these horrible situations, but what do you do after that? And so that's where OUR comes in with the aftercare of trafficked kids and trafficked people, and they're building a huge global network out there fighting human trafficking. And we were talking off air about what's going on there in Wisconsin and the trafficking that's going on in Wisconsin, and this stuff goes on all across the country. And at times,
the whole
even
world.
myself, I'm guilty of it. I get so busy with everything that's going on around me. A lot of times I do forget to talk about that. I have people reach out to me all the time. Mike, why aren't you talking about the kids? There's a lot to talk about, and I'm not solely focused on just one thing. Like I've got a multitude of information I'm sharing constantly each and every day. So I don't want to ever forget that. I don't ever want to forget the kids, and I don't want to forget about the human trafficking. So, can you give us a little more details or stuff that's
Oh yeah,
going on with the trafficking there in Wisconsin?
oh yeah, man. So, a lot of good portion of it is kids, but this trafficking goes so deep. It's not just the children; it's men and women as well,
Mhm.
and not just sex trafficking. I mean, we're talking about employment trafficking.
It's
You know,
slavery.
slavery. It's in
It's
every way you
slavery.
can
It's
think of.
modern day slavery. Period.
And what we're finding here, which is so very alarming, is that there are individuals within our government, in our law enforcement agencies, in the three-letter agencies, that are partaking in this, in pushing this, in the cartels, in the mobs, and our local governments. They are all involved in this whole system. And we're finding that here in Portage County to be true. And then now just for me here in the state of Wisconsin, kind of exposing that. Well, now we kind of found out down in Shawano and Menominee County, there's two other sheriff's departments taking part of this too as well. I mean, they're I'll just give you a little sample of it. They're busting these women and individuals who they pick and choose who they want to bust. They use
Mhm.
them as confidential informants, and then they force them into being raped and sold, and just that. I could keep going on and on. It's disgusting what is happening, and these women and waking up in tunnels and law enforcement agents over them, and it's disgusting. So I mean, the stories that I'm hearing, they're cooperating. Some of these individuals and women coming to me told me stories months ago on places and tunnels that they've been in. And then with this new system of things, with this other individual I'm working with, the stories are cooperating to when these people are talking and what they're talking about, and things are starting to connect. The dots are starting to connect. So the
And then
floodgates
and then
are
you got
opening.
CPS. You got CPS that
There
plays
you
a big
go. Yeah.
part too.
I mean, it's disgusting. And I keep saying to everybody, everything is as bad as you think it is times 10. It is unbelievable, the human trafficking aspects of this. It's a money making ring organization.
And it's
Now we can
global.
go
It's
deeper
global.
into this on, you know, I don't know how ready people are to really believe what they're doing with these tunnels and the human trafficking aspects. I mean, I have several stories here in the state of Wisconsin now that they're serving human flesh in restaurants and grocery stores. Okay, because here in the state of Wisconsin, we have the biggest satanic cult in the world. There's 87,000 registered satanic individuals here. That's just the ones that they have registered. All right. For some reason, here in the state of Wisconsin, we have the biggest following of satanic worshipers here in the state of Wisconsin. So we have a serious problem. Also, we have the human trafficking, the road that goes from Canada to through America. It's right through Wisconsin here. And they're using the Underground Railroad. Runs right by my house. Okay, I mean, you're talking. This has been going on for years. There's a restaurant right down the road from me where John Dillinger and Al Capone used to traffic women, and it says right on their menu. They're like proud of it that it's been happening and that there's still tunnels down there. Okay, so I mean, there's a lot of truth to all this, and we need to start asking the serious questions and doing the investigations. You know, we need to do it respectfully, but boldly. You know what I mean, and legally. But start asking the tough questions to our governments, local governments. Where are these tunnels in our historical records and stuff? Why isn't this anywhere? Why are you hiding all of this information from us? Because I can tell you, this underground city here in Stevens Point was built centuries ago. I mean, you don't build they had to build these rooms and everything before they put the city on top of it. And these tunnels run up all over the place in the city. So I mean, why is this information been hidden from us for centuries? And you know, it's crazy.
You know, I don't want to dive off too far
Yeah.
with some of that stuff, because those are other shows that we could do, definitely. And I've heard a lot of stuff, and I've done some research on what you're talking about as far as the human flesh. Do I believe that it's being done out there? I do. I believe it's being done. Are some of the things that we're researching and finding absolute truth? In fact, I don't know, but it is disgusting. But those are the challenges that we face here in America today. We have human trafficking. We have open border policies. We're fighting against corrupt politicians, Republican and Democrat. We're fighting against, in my opinion, overtaxation. I mean, that's a whole nother show too. And our founding fathers got tired of being taxed. That's why they left England in the first place. One of the main reasons was England was taxing everybody to death. So they came here to America and they started the Revolutionary War because of taxation without representation. And
There's a war over it.
I mean, you know, if our founding fathers were around today, they would have already started something. They wouldn't have peacefully waited as long as we're waiting to get anything done. That's my belief. That's my opinion. It's just at times it's a huge struggle for people to stay engaged and stay positive with all the stuff that's going on. But there is good news. There is hope, because there are a lot of people waking up. I talk to them every day. Hey, LW, thank you for your show. You've really opened our eyes. You've really educated us. And people are waking up, and then they turn around and they share this video and stuff with their family and their friends. And then they became woke up. And so I really believe that even Democrats are starting to wake up to what their party is doing to America and what the Republican Party is doing to America too. Because don't get me wrong, the Republicans are not without fault. They are just as bad, just as dirty as the Democrat Party. But I believe that there are Democrats out there that didn't vote for this stuff, and they are really waking up to all this and going, what in the heck is going on to my country? And you know, it's time for us to quit worrying about what the labels are. And if you're a Democrat or Republican, we're all American, and we all deserve to have the Constitution of the United States upheld. We all deserve our Bill of Rights, the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, a Bill of Rights, all that stuff. That is our God-given right that is enshrined in the Constitution. And I think a lot of people are really starting to wake up to that. And here's one last point before I go back to you, Brock. I personally, and I know for a fact, lots of other people have learned more about the Constitution of the United States and our Bill of Rights in the last 2 years and woke up to more stuff since Donald Trump kicked that hornet's nest and really got us off the couch and got us engaged in this stuff than we ever have in decades of learning in all the 12 years of high school and 4 years of college that I went to and all this higher education. I think we've all learned more about the Constitution of the United States and our Bill of Rights in the last 2 years. And to me, that is hope, because now you're educating the population of America, the American people, so that they can stand up and fight for their rights.
Yeah, exactly. Amen, man. I mean, and I'll be the first to sit here and thank and God bless Donald Trump, man, for what he has done, and his team, because he quite possibly could save this world. Okay, because it was getting bad, and we needed this. We needed to go through this.
I think we did. I agree.
What he says, that this can't be stopped, and it needed to be this way. It's true. It had to be this way. We had to go through some suffering to get off the couch, to unite, and like you said, with the Democrats coming back to the middle, I see it firsthand. It's happening. So I'm very encouraged. We have Power Girl Productions. She'll be the first one to admit she used to be a liberal, and now she's meeting back in the middle with us, and she's helping us along this path. So, it's beautiful times. It's hard times, struggling, but it's also beautiful times that we're living through. And it's time. You're talking about the Constitution. We have learned in the past 2 years more than we have in the last 60 years about the Constitution, Bill of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence. And you got to give a lot of credit back to Mr. Donald Trump for that, because now people are caring to know what their rights are, and to so they can move forward with the power that they have, the power of the people. So, I can just encourage everybody to unite, because it is happening. And, I said from the beginning, both sides, we're all being abused. We're all being wronged here, and, Democrats are finally all, and liberals or independents or whoever, libertarians, we're all understanding that we're all losing our rights and freedoms here. Now, this isn't party politics no more. This is a battle between good and evil. And,
Amen,
and we're all coming back into the middle. And like I said on a video on my page today, it's time to let truth, facts, and knowledge fly, because we need to hit that critical mass to where when enough of us get off the couch, they can't stop it no more. They can't stop the power of the people. And when we want change to happen, enough of us get off the couch, they have no choice but to make changes. So, and
There's
I believe
a lot
that's
more
happening.
of us than there is of them.
Way more of us than there is. And I think that's why that's different from the time of our founding fathers to now. You know what I mean? There wasn't as the technology out there that they had back then. Now we have to do it a little bit differently, I believe, or else it would turn into a full-blown mess. Nobody's gonna win. Nobody's gonna win that war, man. Nobody wins that war, and it would take generations for us to heal from a revolutionary war in this moment in time. So I think it did truly have to be this way. And I think we are winning. We're getting to the point. I think we're in the final show right here. This is the final stages, and I think there's enough people, awakening and coming back to the middle, to where something big's about ready to happen here, and a lot of change. I think something very beautiful is getting ready to happen, and we just need everybody to get on board. Get into your local communities.
Well, I want to be.
That's the way it's going to happen.
I want to be clear about your statement about this. This is coming to an end. I believe there's a stage coming to an end, absolutely. But I want to be clear to the listeners just because this comes to an end doesn't mean that we can go back to the way we used to live. There's a lot of work. There's still going to be a lot of cleanup in your own backyard, your school boards, your city council, your commissioners. There's so much work. And then after that work is done, we need to continue the education of the generations so that our great grandchildren and our great great grandchildren are not back in this situation, 80, 90, 100 years from now, dealing with the same issues that we're dealing with. Because why? Because us, the generation that is here to stop this, didn't educate our kids and our grandkids to where they forgot about it. I mean, here's a prime example. Kids that were born 5 years ago really don't know a whole lot about 9/11. Now, they probably read about a little bit of it in the history books, which is twisted, but a lot of people, I remember I was about 24 years old when that happened, and a lot of people younger than me have already forgot about it. I'll never forget about it. It's just like the greatest generation on earth never forgot about World War II. But the generations behind us have forgot about it. Why? Because they haven't been taught about it. Really, it's been something that's just kind of been gone over quickly in a history lesson, in high school. But that's why it's so imperative for us to teach the younger generations about this fight that we're in today, and encourage them to educate the generations behind them so this doesn't happen again. And the greatest storytellers on earth. I've talked about this before. So if we go back in time, we go back, 300-400 years ago, there wasn't TV, there wasn't the internet, there wasn't cell phones. How did they educate, and how did they keep things going? Well, they had storytellers that would travel around and come into the communities, and they would tell stories about history. They would tell about the Athenians, and they'd tell about the Greek mythology, and they teach people about all this stuff through storytelling. We got to get back to storytelling, man. As fathers and grandfathers, we take our boys fishing and our young daughters fishing. That should be story time. We should be telling them these stories, and come Christmas time when all the grandkids are in the house with you. Story time, man. We need to get back to being storytellers and telling these people about the history of our country, because they're not going to read it in the history books. They're not going to teach this stuff. Now, can that change after this movement is over? It's possible that we finally get real history taught in high school, but I won't hold my breath on that, because now you're putting it back in the hands of somebody else to teach your kids. It's not their responsibility. It's ours as parents. So I think we need to get back to storytelling.
Yeah, amen, man. I believe the same thing. I mean, here in the past 3 years, I mean, they've tried to erase all of our history. You know what I mean? Take down our statues and indoctrinate our children, and take all the history out of the books and schools and stuff. So, I believe during in the lockdowns, they wanted us to stay home. They didn't want us to talk to our elderly that were in the old folks' homes and stuff. You know, and they wanted us to keep quiet. And I mean, they're telling you what they wanted you to do. So I believe this movement, when we come back together and get through this moment in time, we do need to be out there telling these stories, and us individuals that like the boots on the ground, we need to go around tell what happened,
Mhm.
and that way we don't ever get back to this ever again. But it's time to meet in the middle as Americans, and actually really getting back to the American spirit, American values, and the American way of life. While you love your neighbor as human beings first, put this label and division aside. We need to get back to meeting for holiday events and gatherings. You know what I mean? And just sitting down as families and talking to amongst ourselves, right? And just doing what the American thing to do, the basic human thing to do, and making sure that our future generations don't ever let this happen again, and continue telling these stories, because this moment in time is the blueprint for the future, the world, the future generations and world. And this moment in time will prove to be one of the most important times in world history. So we definitely need to have them blueprints um, inscribed into documents, and so that our future generations can look back and tell this story to their children and grandchildren.
Again, hope. Here's the hope for you guys. I know a lot of people like the old show that I used to do where I just do a call in every night and people would just call in and give comment. And that was a great show. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely enjoyed the heck out of it. But what we weren't getting is we weren't getting all the stories. We weren't getting the history that was being written wasn't being told. We weren't getting fully educated. We were getting people's opinions and people's comments, and that's cool. That's really good. I changed the direction of LWN because I wanted to tell the stories. I wanted to document that stuff. I wanted to get those stories out, and I wanted to bring on guests that could help educate my audience. And I've had some great guests on recently, and more are reaching out to me, and we're getting more of them booked here at LWN to come on and tell their stories because it's important to hear this history. It's important to educate our audience. So what I'm telling you, the hope for America is the fact that all these people like Brock and the people he sent to me that are coming on here and educating you and telling you stories is I'm showcasing that the American people are awake, they're waking up, they're waking others up, and they're getting involved and making that difference. That's the hope that I'm giving you for tonight is, hey, look at what's going on, and then don't just talk about it, have actions behind your words.
Absolutely. Do what you say what you do, and that's why this movement's so powerful. And I'm humbled to be working with you because it's nice to be working with individuals that get it and that actually genuinely want to make that change, give people hope. And that's why your platform is so powerful, and the work that you're doing is so powerful. You're gonna have blueprints of all of these discussions for future generations to come back to your platform and to learn the stories, and that's why I also encourage people to go to ffcw.us because all of the blueprints are there from the past 2.5 3 years of work that we've done. The blueprints are there for people to learn what needs to be done, how we did it, and how you can also do it. So I mean, yeah, I appreciate all your efforts and work Liberty Warrior there, because without individuals like you, we truly are them blueprints
And
of our
when
current time.
new people wake up, and no disrespect, but for new people who just woke up yesterday, I like the fact that you have a blueprint, Brock. You don't have to go out and redesign the wheel. The wheel's already been created for you through the Wisconsin Freedom Fighters. Okay. Now, can sometimes somebody come in and upgrade an idea or maybe bring something a little bit different to the table that makes it a little easier or more effective? Absolutely. But what I'm trying to say is when you just finally wake up and you're wanting to get involved in your local level, you don't have to sit down at the table and design this wheel. It's already been designed for you. Like Brock says, it's already documented. It's in past videos that we've done. It's on his website. And those are the places that you can go for what we call resources. Those are your tools. Those are how you take your words that you say that you want to get involved and you go to the resources and you grab those tools, and that's how you build your blueprint for your community and get involved. And so that's the hope that we're selling tonight is, man, America is waking up, and it is I see it more and more every day. I see more things, even in lamestream media, that just makes you scratch your head and go, you know, people are fed up with this on the left and the right, and they should be. It should be an American thing, not a Republican thing, not a conservative thing, not a Democrat thing, not a left thing. It should be an American thing that we don't like the course that our country is going. We don't like the policies and procedures that they're using against us, and the things that they're doing to ruin this country. And make no mistake, if you're sitting there giggling right now thinking that I'm full of crap and that they're not trying to destroy this country, I can prove it to you within just 5 minutes. And it is obvious that since the what did we call it earlier, the Biden administration has been in power, that's exactly what they've been doing for the last 24 months, is coming in and trying to absolutely crush and destroy America and the American family. They've tried to destroy men. They've tried to destroy women. They're trying to destroy children. I mean, this is a spiritual battle, good versus evil, and we're seeing all the decay of America and the things that they're doing to try to enslave us. I heard somebody the other day say that they had to sell some of their assets. Their wife had a stroke, and they have a big ranch. And their wife had a stroke, and he was trying to get her on some government assistance, right? Like disability. And the government didn't like the fact that they had a few assets. So they were forcing this individual to sell assets so that they would be 100% dependent on the government. Do you guys see what I'm saying? They want you dependent on the government titty so that they have ultimate control over you, because if that's where you put your safety and your security, and you live off the government, they can pull that rug out from underneath you at any time. But if you live as a sovereign citizen of the United States, if you are independent, if you live a lifestyle that is a little more self-sufficient, they have no control over you, or they have little control over you. That's what they don't want, right? Am I correct on that, Brock?
No, you're very correct on that. And I forgot to touch on that a little bit earlier. Everything that you just said is true and correct. I mean, these people want to keep us slaves. Okay, they want to take everything from you, control you. I've proved it with our work in the past 2.5 years. So we are at war, and one of the efforts that I am also involved with the many efforts I'm involved with, but is very important. Okay, if these people don't want to hold themselves accountable, if they don't want to give the people remedy, um, we started helping out the Wisconsin Assembly here to claim your national status or your sovereign status. Okay, if they don't want to fix the system, if they want to cheat, lie, and steal, and keep us slaves, we'll just leave your system.
Mm-hmm.
So I launched efforts here in the state of Wisconsin to encourage 2,000 people to leave the corporation, for the next month. And when we start doing that, you're taking away what they want most, your money.
Money,
Okay,
money and
money.
power.
So I mean, we are at war, and this is one of the tactics that we're going to use. Okay, we're just going to start leaving your corporation,
Leaving the
and then
system.
what are you going to do about that? You know what I mean? So that I encourage everybody to look into your state assemblies and use that as a powerful tool. And when they start seeing 2-3 thousand people a month leaving their corporation, I bet they change the tune real quick.
Well, there are thousands of people leaving the corporation and becoming, and there's different titles for it. There's sovereign, there's a natural citizen, there's all kinds of different titles for it. But here's the point. The point is yeah, you're giving up the right to vote, but if enough of us leave the system, that ain't gonna matter anymore. So you're not going to pay taxes. You're not going to feed the monster. You're going to live a self-sustained life and not be relied on government. That's a massive, massive move, and that is a move that puts their power in jeopardy, because now you're taking the power back for yourself. You're living as a free person, not somebody who is controlled by government. That is a huge, huge stepping stone right there. And I don't know if people really realize how important and how effective that can be. So I do have a gentleman that I did meet through Brock, who is going to get scheduled to come on the show here, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how powerful it would be if we all became natural citizens, because that's what God intended us to be. Government was not supposed to be something that captured us as a slave. Government was supposed to be derived from the people, to work for the people, and to be there to protect our borders and do a few other things. I think some of the constitutional scholars that I've had on before said there's about only 8 functions that our government was supposed to really truthfully do. One of them was to protect our borders, which they're obviously not doing on the southern border right now. And then the rest of it was up to the states and up to the individual citizen to take care of ourselves. This country was never founded on the premises that we formed a government that took care of the people. That is a fallacy. It's a
Yep.
lie. All these social programs, all these government agencies, the three-letter agencies, and all this stuff that was formed illegally, unconstitutionally, are working against us, folks. They are
Yeah.
working against us. It's time to take our power back, we the people.
Absolutely, man. And a lot going along the lines of erasing history, they don't want us to know that back in the 1870s that they incorporated this country and they enslaved us and they
Right.
weaponized this government against we the people. They
Yep.
enslaved us and they weaponized the government against we the people. And a lot of people don't really understand that. So when you leave this corporation, you're losing the right to vote within their system. You're
Yeah.
losing your right to vote for another slave master
There you
is
go.
basically what it is. What we do is when we reclaim our national status or sovereign status and you create your assembly, what we're really doing is we're establishing our rights and system that was created and set up back in 1770, the 1700s, before the corporation took over. So I think you have Paul D.U.M.B. probably coming on the show. Is that who it is?
It's Jake.
Oh, okay, Jake Jackson. Okay, Jake
Jake
Jackson.
Jackson.
I got three other people that you can bring on the
Yeah,
show, but they would.
I'll take them all.
It's going to be amazing what we're going to do here, and we're going to reclaim our freedom as intended by the forefathers and within our Bill of Rights, Declaration of Independence, and our Constitution. Because and then getting back to the blueprints, from everything that we've been able to do in 2.5 years, I went back to the blueprints that we were given by our forefathers. Okay. I used all the constitutional rights that they had granted us. And by gosh, it worked. Okay. We tweaked them around a little bit here and there, but them blueprints that were set by our forefathers worked. It worked beautifully.
Yep.
And it's going to continue to work beautifully. So so I just encourage people to go on to our website, ffcw.us, underneath the menu section, and then look into our events, podcasts, and shows, and listen to all of them. Okay, and you will see from all of them shows and hear all these people that have been out here working, boots on the ground, what we've been able to do and accomplish using our Declaration of Independence, Bill of Rights, and Constitution, and the blueprints that our forefathers left for us for this moment in time right here.
Amen.
That's why they left it for us for a moment in time like this, when we needed to abolish our government, which we will abolish. This government will fall. This corporation will fall, and we're not going to stop. We're going to come 10 times harder because we're going to reclaim our freedoms and liberties, united as we the people. And then, like I said, this
Let
corporation's got
me
a
make
problem.
another data point. Let me make another data point about the natural citizen, about the sovereign citizen. When we talk about thousands of people doing it, do you know, Brock, that one of the biggest movements in America right now are people leaving the cities and buying property and becoming independent and actually living off grid? Do you know
Yep.
that that's one of the biggest battlefields as well? Because the government is trying to come in. They're trying to get these people to register their gardens through the government agency wanting you to register your home gardens. Why do you think there's forest fires in certain areas? They are purposely trying to burn people out, make them lose everything. Why? Because they want to push everybody back to the city. They want a smart city. They want to control all of us in the city. There are millions of people. It's one of the biggest moves, and I've done a research on this recently. It's one of the biggest moves in America. Our people are moving off grid like crazy. They want out of the city. They want out of the system. They want to live free. And the government is losing their mind because they can't control this right now. Because once you get out there, build a home and live off grid, you have your own animals and you have your own garden and stuff like that, and you become self-sufficient. You're no longer dependent on the government. And that is driving them crazy because they want all Americans. They want all people dependent on the government. And that's why this fight is so important for us to demand, require, fight, and retrieve our freedoms that were given to us by our Creator and enshrined in the Constitution of the United States. And so if people can be a little more self-reliant and become a natural citizen, what does the government have left to take from us? Nothing, because we've taken it back, and that's what we're here to do.
Yeah, and I can tell you a firsthand account right now, man. I mean, from me standing up for freedom, they're trying to put a $390 million solar farm around my house, and I can be the first one to tell you that, you got the Bill Gates and you got China and these big investors and corporations. There's a fight for our country land here. They're trying to buy all of it up that they can, so we can't move back out to the country. Why? Because if we move back out to the country and buy country land, we can start our own civilizations and stuff
Yep.
and defend ourselves. They
Yep.
want us all in the city, and I can tell you that they're trying to do that with my property right here as I speak. It's disgusting what's going on. So if you really talk to the people that are boots on the ground in these firsthand accounts, everything that you've been hearing on social media or whatever, it is true. They want us out of the country into the city so they can hurt us. They want you to take everything from you, and you love it. They want you dependent on them
That's what
for their handouts,
the World
begging on
Economic that's
begging
what
on your
the
knees. Yeah,
That's what the World Economic Forum has made statement. You will own nothing and you will be happy. And we can get off in all kinds of little rabbit holes
right.
here. But think about this. They force everybody out of the country into the smart city. They have 5G and 60G towers everywhere. They push fear into people so they all go out and get one of these in the old shoulder. And we all know by research some of the stuff that's in that stuff. It's total control, man. It's mind control, and it's financial control, and I mean, they're a week number 6 or 7 now on their digital currency through the Fed, which they will control your bank accounts. I'm telling you right now, it's coming. Believe whatever you want, but I don't have any money in the bank other than the stuff that I need to pay my bills. Other than that, I'm not putting any money in the bank because they are going toward total control. Is it going to be the Great Reset, or is it going to be the Great Awakening? That's still to be seen. I believe it'll be the Great Awakening, but I still don't trust things. So I'm going to protect myself. And who better to protect yourself than yourself? You can't be reliant on government or your county sheriff or anyone else to protect you or your assets. You need to make sure that you protect yourself first. That should be the first line of defense. Then the second line of defense should be your neighbors. Then the third line of defense should be your county sheriff, and then so on and so forth. But for people who are sitting there thinking that there's all these other people that are going to protect you, protect your assets, your finances, your property, your garden, and everything else, man, you're fooling yourself. You should be your first line of defense always.
Absolutely, man. And that was another aspect of the freedom fighters since the beginning is self-sustainability. We brought in ex military to teach our community, on shit hit the fan plans and stuff to be self-sustainable, because when it all comes down to it, you're responsible for your own life and your family and your friends. This government, if you think that they give a crap about you, they don't.
No.
The only thing that they care about is that social security number and your taxes that you pay for them that are illegal. They're really robbing you. So we started holding events to get bring in speakers and to tell everybody and teach everybody the knowledge that you need just in case shit hit the fan. Planting your gardens and stocking up on foods and how to make and prepare your quilting or whatever. And these are the things that we need to get back to, teaching each other the skill sets that we've been handed down by our generations, our grandparents and parents, because I mean, them are the things that are going to carry us through a serious situation if it ever comes down to it, and the supply chain breaks down or a financial crash comes. You're only going to be able to count on yourself and your families. So I encourage everybody to really get into the mindsets of breaking away from this corporation, because they don't care about you.
Well, before we roll into final thought here, and I appreciate your time today, Brock. Here's a thought. As they are trying to force all of us into cities so that they can control us, and they can turn the light switch off, they can turn the power off, they can turn the finances off, they can turn the supply chain off, they can starve us to death in a city, right? But here's a thought. If we're all self-sufficient, if we all live outside of that system and we can grow our own gardens and we have our own stuff prepped and we can take care of one another, And when they try to do all that nonsense, guess who's going to starve who? We, the people, will starve DC out because now we can take care of ourselves and we can take care of our family and our communities. We don't need you anymore. So now we're not putting the money into the system. We're not spending time in the system. It will literally starve them to death. So we can flip the tables on this tyrannical government, but you have to get engaged and you have to really put actions behind your words to get that done. So as we roll into final thought, Brock, we covered a lot of stuff today, and that's just amazing that we can just roll from topic to topic and really do that. But I really would like for you to take your final thought and put out there, how do people find you? Because I'll put all those descriptions or all those links in the description, but I want you to hear it from Brock himself, the places that you can go to find him, find the Wisconsin Freedom Fighters, find these blueprints that he's talking about on his website and the tabs that you can use on his website. So Brock, if you just take your final thought and explain that to everybody. Like I said, mods are dropping links. Those links will be in the description below, but I want to hear it from the man himself. Go ahead, Brock.
Yeah, thanks for giving me this time, LW. So everybody can the best place to go is ffcw.us. That's our website link. And then check out the menu option, and it'll take you to past events and the podcast and interviews. Check out our website. On there, there's the merchandise section if you want to check out some of our merchandise, but the main part of it is the blueprint section underneath the menus tab. Check that out. And then also you can go on Facebook, ffcw.us. We're the Freedom Fighters of Central Wisconsin on Facebook. Also, you can go to any social media platform. We are ffcw.us or the Freedom Fighters Central Wisconsin, YouTube, Rumble, MeWe, Telegram, you name it. We're out there. You can find me. My name is Brock Maddox on Facebook. I share everything that all of our work on that we do on my personal site. So yeah. One thing I want to say though, probably the most powerful thing I'll say today is the greatest weapon on this planet, isn't the nuclear weapons and bombs and guns. It says right on the Constitution of the United States, the greatest weapon is big bold letters, we the people. They need us. And we are the most powerful weapon on the face of this earth when we stand united together. We the people. These other countries are not afraid of of stepping on our American soil because of our military. They are afraid to step on our American soil because we are the greatest military on the faces of this planet, and that is we the people. So let's get off the couch, unite as Americans, loving thy neighbor, get involved in your local areas. That's where you can make the most impact, and just love your neighbor. End the labels, get back to meeting in the middle, have some decency for your neighbor, and let's do this. Let's unite for our freedom, because this government's got a problem. That's we the people and freedom. And I suggest everybody to keep that fight for freedom alive, because if we don't, our future generations will never know what it meant to live as free Americans. So we the people, it's time to unite. Love each and every one of you. LW, thanks for letting me on your show. I'm excited to come back again sometime and keep
Anytime,
that fight for freedom alive.
Anytime. I'll get you on as a regular. Here's what I'm going to say. I know Brock and I were talking off camera one time about the work it takes on all of the social platforms that he helps moderate and he helps put the information out. I don't want to speak for Brock, but I'm gonna plant this seed, and maybe the next time Brock comes on, you guys have time to think about it, and maybe Brock can speak on it the next time he's here. If there's anybody out there that has a lot of time on their hands and would like to donate time to Brock's mission, the Wisconsin Freedom Fighters, he needs moderators that can take information that he has and post it across all their social platforms. If that's something that maybe God's calling you to do, I know that I put out a call to action like this months ago for moderators for my channel, and there was several wonderful people that answered that call. So if you're somebody who's at home and wants to get in the fight and says, well, Brock, LW, I can't physically go down and protest, that's fine. There's a place at the table for everyone. And if you're at home looking for something to do and you want to get in this patriot fight, that's something that I think Brock could really use the help for. All his links and contact information will be in that description below, and you guys can reach out to him personally and have that conversation. So I'm going to leave with this. General Flynn's great quote: local action results in national change. And I believe that is the key to success. So thanks for joining us this evening, folks. Brock, thank you for joining me. Thank you to the Wisconsin Freedom Fighters for all the support and the things that you do for LWN. God bless each and every one of you, and we will catch you on the next one. Liberty Warrior Nation, if you missed it last time, it's back. The biggest bed sheet sale ever. The Giza Dream Sheets, the bed sheets as low as $29.99 using promo code LWN. You could save up to 50% off. Don't forget, Mike Lindell and My Pillow have some of the best products out there. He has My Coffee, My Slippers. He's got bedding for dogs. He's got the bath towel sets. Lots of great products out there for every patriot. And if you'd like to support Mike Lindell in return, supporting him also supports me here at LWN. Like I said, use promo code LWN. You could save up to 50% off the Giza bed sheets, $29.99.
Hoping for a sincere performance, but open to finding the moment, to finding out where I'm headed now. Looking for a sign of disaster, so I can make it there faster. I'm weighing the consequences out. I can see in all directions. It's all open to interpretation, but I see colors that are breaking from the other side, the other side. When I make mountains out of summer trails, when I how you can blend in with the crowd. I'm so scared, so damn afraid to look. I'm so sick of talking. I'm wearing the words out, words out. Break the back.